The month of Gorror. Gonorrhea, 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 gonorrhea.
Isn't awesome.
Gorr.
God, he reigns.
Welcome to another review for the month of Gorror. This is number 11, and this time I am taking a look at Shadow People, which is a film starring Dallas Roberts about shadow people. If you don't know what shadow people are, didn't know what they were before too, but they're supposed to be things that you see, and when you're trying to fall asleep, you'll see these little shadow dudes in like corners and stuff, and it'll scare the crap out of you. And some people die because of these things, because of sleep paralysis and whatnot. I don't know. But anyway, that's what the movie's about pretty much, and it stars Dallas Roberts. So what did I think of Shadow People, a brand new horror film that went straight to DVD? Well, let's talk about it. The story for Shadow People is a bit strange because it mixes supposed real footage, like real found footage of these people talking about shadow people and whatnot, and it mixes that with the footage of the people being betrayed by actual actors. So it mixes those two together to make a narrative. Kind of strange. It reminds me of that movie The Fourth Kind with Mila Jovovich about aliens, but I would say this one's a little bit better. The story here follows, what's his name? Charlie Crow, who is a DJ for this midnight time talk show. Of course, he's played by Dallas Roberts, who gets a call from this kid that's freaking out about shadow people. He has no idea what the hell shadow people are. He doesn't believe them. He's just like, yeah, whatever, next call. And then the next day, he gets the same call from this kid, and he's complaining about shadow people. Oh, they try to kill you when you're trying to sleep and stuff, and they freak you out, blah, blah, blah. And then you hear a gunshot, so presumably he killed himself, but he didn't. He actually didn't kill himself. He gets rushed to the hospital. Then the next day, Charlie Crow goes to visit the kid, and of course, the kid died unexpectedly in his bed. So he's just like, what the hell? That's weird. So he starts searching into this whole shadow people conspiracy. He actually reads a lot of books and stuff, and then he starts to believe in these shadow people. And of course, seeing that he starts to believe, the shadow people just start coming for him. Like, oh, I'm going to freak you out, Dallas Roberts, okay? Hey, I liked you in Walking Dead, but I'm tired of your shit. So shadow people are just screwing with him left and right. And of course, it tries to mix all this found footage stuff in there just to make you believe in these shadow people. And it's a very strange story. That's all I'll explain, because really there's not much to the story at all, but it's still a very strange combination of found footage with, shot footage, I guess. Now, I appreciated that the film wasn't just a straight up horror film throughout its like very short running time, like 80 minutes long, I think. I appreciated that it wasn't just straight up that. But the thing is that when it mixes the found footage stuff, which is a lot of just people talking about shadow people and sleep paralysis and unexpected death syndrome, whatever the hell it's called. It's just a lot of people talking about that stuff. They mix that stuff with a horror film. I would say half this film is Dallas Roberts in his apartment or somewhere else, and boo, something scary happens. A shadow person just jumps up in front of the camera. I felt like the movie, the director himself, or herself, oh, I forgot who the director was trying to scare you, but also educate you on all these little, terms, like, the sleep paralysis and unexpected death syndrome and stuff, and also the shadow people, if you didn't know what they were before. So he tries to, or she, again, he or she tries to educate you, but then scare you with the other half of the film. It's very strange, and it did remind me of The Fourth Kind, like I said. Thing is that this film, I'm not sure if the found footage is supposed to actually be real footage, or it's actually just fake and they say it's found footage. In The Fourth Kind, it was obviously fake footage because it was so... There was a lot of scenes where you just see aliens doing something, and I'm like, okay, obviously it's fake. I mean, that was obviously fake. This, it's just a lot of people talking, so it could just be found footage. Who knows? But I really liked that they mixed it together. But when it got to that documentary part, I appreciated it. but it started to get real boring where they're just like trying to tell you like, hey, shadow people, they could exist, but it could be this, or this. And it kind of got a little boring. I mean, it did. When it went back to Dallas Roberts' story, he's a really likable character. He's a really likable, very charismatic actor. He's very funny at times. He sells some of the kind of dry dialogue, and I liked him in this film. I really did. He definitely holds the movie together. But when it gets into the documentary parts and when it tries to get into the jump scary parts, it just did not work. It was not scary. It was not at all a good documentary. Even though it did creep me out at times, I will admit, with the idea of the shadow people. They didn't do a good job of portraying the shadow people at all, in my opinion. So that's a little confusing. I thought the shadow people themselves, the concept is creepy, but they didn't do a good job of making it creepy. There you go. That's what I meant. So the movie, it's interesting at times. It's very short. Dallas Roberts is very good in it, but it's still very uninteresting at parts. Very boring at parts, and I didn't really learn too much by the end of the film. So if he or she was trying to educate me, didn't really work that much. So I'm gonna give this film a 22 out of 40. I still enjoyed it, in parts. Dallas Roberts' performance, whatever, but I didn't love it. So there you go. There's my review for Shadow People. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and goodbye.